Chair, would you like me to call the meeting to order? And the roll call? Okay, so just for the record, we're calling to order the March 26th meeting of the Heritage and Arts Commission. And I'll start with a roll call. Chair Etemad.
Here.
Vice Chair Gupta.
Here.
Commissioner Theron. Commissioner Fong.
Here.
Commissioner Hall.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Mujica Beavers is absent and Commissioner Noguez.
Here.
Thank you. And I'm happy to move us through to oral communications, which is the time of the agenda where the public can address the commission on matters not on the agenda. And I will just note for the record that there are no comments and none online as well.
That's good. So next becomes chair report. Okay, for chair report, we had a Zoom meeting with Scott Yu and Bruce Monroe, which we will explain later on. And it was a very good meeting to meet the artist, and he sounded very enthusiastic to bring some art to Tiburon. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, because Arjun he can explain much better than I can. Anyways, then the MOS, Marine Open Studios, the director has been in touch with me. Again, that is in our agenda. I'll go over it later on. And I have been working on trying to fill out the May slot for the art showing downstairs. We didn't have anyone in May and June. So I asked Richard Rosen if he would like to show, and he said, yes, I will.
Oh, great.
So before he can hang his work, we have the open studio. The open studio weekend is a Saturday and Sunday. They did not want any artwork in the walls, neither in the lobby nor in this room. So Richard has got to hang his art the following week, say on a Monday. And the reception would be the 7th. Please note, because we will have to get the table ready for them for their reception. Now, if Richard is not able to hang his work in one day before, then he may ask for a reception for downstairs the following week, the following Tuesday, which is 14th. So that is about what I wanted to say. So we can go to the next, which is going to be presentation. So I will ask Arjun to give us a nice talk on explanation for us.
Well, can we get the presentation up on that? It's just a small, short presentation, the PDF.
We're doing the Scott Yu presentation
Scott Yu.
first. Yeah, one moment.
Scott Yu, yes.
And while it's loading, I'll just say that Bruce Monroe is in the UK, and we had a very nice meeting with him. And I think one of his assistants and his wife was there also in the meeting. She works closely with him on projects. And they were very excited about the prospect of possibly showing, having an exhibition here in town And he did mention also that he was doing something in Southern California this year, and he felt that since he has to ship his materials, he might be able to combine in that shipment an exhibition, you know, depending on what he's decides to do here or what proposals he gives us, along with that show that he's having in Southern California. But we're, you know, we are still waiting on a proposal from him, and the proposal should come fairly soon. But we did tell him that it should be, you know, he can, you know, we gave him some ideas for sites, including south of Knoll, of course, and Zelinsky Park, because one of the considerations he had was, you know, protecting this material, which is considerably more valuable than the fabric and fiberglass sticks that were used in the Thomas Jackson project. Also, he was debating about, you know, whether it should be a light electrical light project or a different kind of light project as well, which might be in the daytime, that's visible mostly for people during the day, because that seems to make sense for us since nobody's really out and about in the dark at night here. But either way, he's done a lot of interesting projects. There's a book here which highlights it, and there's a website, and we can just go through quickly this lovely short proposal that he's done here. And so the introduction, you know, he does these large scale light-based installations. The most famous one, of course, is Sensorio down in Paso Robles. But this is an interesting one. I think he did, you know, just with like, looks like CDs or something, you know, compact discs, which we don't use anymore. So I'm glad he found a use for it. Yeah.
I was just at Sensoria
Oh, great.
Friday night.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice. It's truly spectacular.
Yeah.
For all ages. It is a perfect fit from my perspective. We would be very lucky to see this proposal and possibly make it happen. I had no idea that you were, I mean, other than it's on agenda, that you had connected with them, but it's truly awesome.
And it's I mean, I was there a few years. It's vast. It's a vast.
It's 15 acres.
It's crazy.
Extraordinary. We have the most perfect landscape for it, regardless of where we put it, and making sure that it's secure, but it's magical. And
Yeah.
I'd be happy to share my photos.
Oh, that would be very nice. One thing, if I may, Arjun, we try to tell him that this is a small city, small area. So we really are asking him to consider something that we can actually put in a smaller project. And he said, okay, he was all very smiley.
Yeah, he's a very nice man.
Yeah, he was very nice. And I was talking to my daughter. I have a daughter who lives in England, and then her job used to be making lights for stage. And when I mentioned Bruce's name, she immediately recognized him, and she said that she might like to go to his studio and try to connect with him, because in the old days, she said that he had started something together. That was ages ago, 20 years ago or something, but he's very well known now there.
And we're very lucky to have Scott Yu on this project also, who knows Bruce. And I think Scott works professionally with a very high-tech advanced lighting company.
Yeah.
So here's another indoor work, light shower in Salisbury, you know, very famous cathedral. And then I don't know if we can go to the field of light. Can you press that field of light video? See what happens?
Yeah, there's quite a few pictures, photos there.
I mean,
If the video works, I'm gonna we've got a little bit of with running Zoom, playing videos a little bit more complicated, so.
okay, don't worry about it.
Happy to see if it works, but might need a minute to get it fully set up.
Sure.
Bear
I
with
mean,
me.
the video is of Sensorio, I believe. But it must be worthwhile to take a look. And while we're waiting, we did talk to Bruce about I mean, Scott had maps of Tiburon and he shared them with Bruce. And so Bruce is aware of some of the, areas that we could have an exhibition, including, as I mentioned, south of Knoll and Zelinsky Park, which is also nice because it's close to downtown, it's safe, it's protected. His main concern was security around his light pieces. Don't know. Oh,
Of course, Richard Rosen was with our conversation in the
yes,
Zoom.
Richard was there too.
Yeah.
I guess there's a bunch of different Bruce Monroe videos, but we don't need to see those, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
And my daughter was saying that the things he does on them, they get the electricity from sun
yeah,
during the day, and suddenly at nighttime, someplace starts glowing. That's how he does in England, in a few
Well,
places.
at least we know you can find him on Vimeo. It's okay, Lee. I don't think we need to. But that's where we left it. And he had questions about, the town and the Heritage and Arts Commission. And, we told him we have we're frugal. We have a limited budget. But he was unfazed at all. Yeah, it was totally unfazed. And he said, that's fine. He just likes to make things happen. So we'll follow up with him when I think Scott is away this week and he wanted to be here, but he couldn't make it. But we will have the proposals to review with the group, hopefully, certainly by the next meeting. Lee, I see that Catherine Roszak is here. Maybe we can move her item.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Judith?
So I have to.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather, if I could quickly.
Sure. Sorry, Catherine. Let's get Judith in.
Hi, Judith. Thank you very much.
Who should go first? How should we do this?
I just came from Berkeley. And
Oh.
I have a HOA in about an hour, but
Oh, okay. I just have
if you want to go first and I go after you, would that be good?
Let's do it that way.
Okay.
Let's do it that way because I think, it's not going to take, it's not going to take long.
I think
Yeah.
I just-
Sorry. So
Okay, action item.
is that one over or?
That was
it-
just a presentation. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a question about it. Is it going through public art selection panel? Because it seems
Well,
like.
I'm hoping to. We're hoping to.
When the proposal gets here, we will send it to pass for their review. Absolutely.
Actually, Richard Rosen helped with this, with his presentation.
Yeah.
With Scott I put them together.
Yeah, I just wasn't aware of it.
Yeah.
So seems like.
Well,
should
it is such an early stage. It is, we are more excited about
I know.
it to bring it to commission.
Okay, so regarding In a Landscape, I think we all know that early access ticket sales started on March 11th. Do I need to come up here? Okay, is it on? Sorry. Ticket sales opened on March 11th just for Tiburon residents. I did a number of marketing actions on my own too. So I forwarded it to as many people as I could think of, who then forwarded it on to other groups. I put it on Facebook Connect 94920, which is another 750 people. I created a Nextdoor post, which covered another 2,400 people. I know Arjun did some things too in his Nextdoor community. The ARC published the early access concert information on Wednesday, the 13th, which I guess goes to over 6,000 subscribers. So the latest update on ticket sales, I think it went really, really well the first week. They sold about a third of the tickets.
For the Tiburon residents? Or is it
I
including?
don't have a number on, so the first update I got was on the 19th. So it was about, I guess that's about a week out from the early access date.
Oh, great.
I was trying to get something on Friday just to know how much of it was local. But I imagine most of it was because there've been very few sales since then. So there was another update yesterday, and I think they've only sold 10 in the past week. So clearly our efforts also through the Town of Tiburon website and the Tib Talk emails. So
Yes.
I think we had a pretty good start. There's going to be more efforts needed, but I think, initially we had talked about 200, so we're already almost at kind of what we thought we would start with. And so I think we're still almost 2 months out. And so they're working on creating posters and flyers and things that we can start to do, locally. I think the more we can keep updating on, the Tiburon website, maybe keep it in emails as a reminder, put it in our calendar. But I think we're in a good position so far. Regarding fundraising, one more thing, since the ARC is here. I think they have a great interest in getting into the local press, and maybe even, interviewing Hunter. So we should, talk. I've given them some names of various Marin-based magazines and newspapers that they should contact. They're also performing in San Geronimo the day before us, so they're probably going to want something a little broader than Tiburon as well as a feature, for example, in the IJ. But I think it's great. So
Do you have I have a contact at IJ.
I don't. So if you do, I could, anything, they're not, I don't think they've marketed in Marin specifically in the past. They've been up in Sonoma.
They don't like it somehow.
What, Marin?
Well,
they have-
IJ.
Oh, the IJ. They haven't performed here, and I think they were in some local newspapers up in Sonoma last year when they performed up there.
Well, actually, they interviewed me last year
The IJ.
for the show in Sausalito. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, I think we've got time.
Very nice.
And I'll keep you updated. They have a press person who's working on press releases and marketing. And I imagine in the next few weeks, we'll want to get our support if possible to help spread the word. Regarding fundraising, Victoria and I had talked about applying for a grant from the Tiburon Peninsula Foundation, and I've prepared a draft that's ready to go. So we still have $4,200 left of potential donor money to request. So we would like to start with them. I don't know if anyone has any other suggestions, or if they could co-sponsor, that would be amazing. So
I mean, I think that's probably right around the amounts that they are willing, and able to dole out. Yeah.
Yeah. I just I just want to say thanks to Judith for doing all of this. And I actually bought 10 tickets already, and I will be needing at least 3 or 4 more. So people are really excited about it. And so it's good work. And just to follow up on the fundraising, I have allergies. I was contacted by someone from the TPF after it came out on the Tiburon Talk. And it was like only 2 days before their meeting. So I contacted Judith. I contacted my bosses to make sure that we could kind of at least explore the possibility. It turns out Charlie's idea of having discounted tickets for the students was not the kind of grants that they like to make. So anyway, with the 2 days bypass, they did encourage us to go forward with their, to meet their possibly next month's meeting. And in the meantime, I wasn't sure whether Richard Rosen has put in a grant or what, but that's just the background. Everything was compacted within 2 or 3 days to get it, uploaded and all. But I do want to say thanks to Judith for taking charge, and thanks for your support. We want to make all the connections that we can.
Yeah, I'll add, thank you, Judith. I know you've had a very busy spring and winter so far, but thank you so much for doing all the heavy lifting on this.
Nora,
Yeah,
please.
I'm on the Sunset Rotary, and I will send you the form
Okay,
to ask for grant. Normally grants are anywhere from 5,000, and you need a sponsor, and I'd be happy to sponsor.
okay,
Great.
great. The other thing that hasn't been completely clarified is we have a number of free tickets available to people who may not normally be able to purchase tickets. Their default way of doing that is allowing people who have EBT cards to request them and show the proof of their cards at the admissions. So it's not really obvious unless you go into the tickets that they have this program. It's called the Good Neighbor Program. So it might be something we want to advertise to targeted communities. We could also open it up to other groups. We would just need to tell them kind of how we would, what groups we want to allocate tickets to. So if that's something you guys want to discuss, I mean, I think the way they do it is good, but we maybe not everyone who needs tickets is on EBT cards. So it's just
Yeah, does
I-
everyone know what that is?
it's like for food stamps and
Yes.
benefits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ARC would be good for blasting that out.
To
I think-
explain the program.
Yeah, to explain that that's possible and available. And I need to ask them if they've had any requests for those tickets yet, because I don't know. I think they initially had talked about 40 or 50 of those being available. So
Put it on our town
On
sometime.
Tiburon Talk.
For, this is for income qualified, it's another way it's referred to. So it goes out to our audience as part of our DEIB goals, to make it accessible to community members that can't afford to buy the tickets.
Yes, I can add it to our.
Yeah,
newsletter.
add it to the how to get tickets. Yeah.
yeah, they call it the Good Neighbor Program. So I think they offer it to all of their shows, for all of them. But it's not something that we've specifically highlighted, and people probably don't know about it. Thanks. Yeah, that's good.
Community that should know about.
If you have, information about it, you can send it to Lee and copy me, or
Sure.
that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Thank
please
you.
send it.
Okay.
Also
Yeah.
for senior citizens, it's probably, or on the elderly on fixed income. I know there's an issue about getting to the site, but let them decide if they want.
Yeah, it does say on their website when you go to buy the tickets that this is available. It also allows for other people who are not necessarily EBT card holders to request them. But they just have to send a message to In a Landscape stating why they would like those tickets. So
Great.
And
That's a very nice offer they're doing.
I just have
We
one
want-
question. Judith, did you want to talk about any of the considerations for moving the equipment on the thing, and anything that we should know about?
the only thing I personally have noticed with McKegney is all these soccer goals and things that would be nice to get moved out of the way for that event. So I don't know how that works with
I think that's as the father of a soccer player.
yeah, I know.
There is the Tiburon Peninsula
That's
Soccer.
my
I could ask
time.
Kim. Actually,
Kim, that's exactly.
so I actually contacted Kim, and this is actually a good point to bring up. I've had
In
three.
Civic,
I had,
Civic.
yeah, I've had three soccer kids in Tiburon too.
Yeah.
I actually contacted her about something else because they were looking for some more photographs of McKegney that they could use in their promotional materials, and I found this beautiful watercolor that had been commissioned for the new field opening a couple of years ago, and it's by the artist who recently passed away, Diana Bradley. And I asked if we could use it, and Kim said they'd be happy to allow us to use it. However, In a Landscape wants photographs, but I think for our own use, as long as we credit Tiburon Peninsula Soccer Club and Diana Bradley, then we can use that. So just something to.
You have to have permission, right? Permit.
She gave me permission, basically.
She already has.
Yeah, as long as we credit
Well,
them.
Yeah, her remaining family should be
Yes,
doing
yeah.
that.
Well, I think they have full rights to the.
Okay,
Because they commissioned it.
that's
So
wonderful.
it's up to Kim to authorize it.
Yeah.
Nora?
I'm just thinking, as I said here, about Marin Villages, so that maybe we can send something out to them that would target. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be good to make a list of communities that we'd want to maybe send something out to, or even put flyers out to inform them that this is yeah.
Requirements and considerations ad hoc. Be able to put that list together for Judith.
Yeah, that would be good. So who's going to volunteer for it? We already have an ad hoc. Yes, well, that's good.
Okay. Is that good for now?
That's great.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Judith.
Thank you.
We're so excited about it.
Moving
Thank you
forward.
so
I also
much.
bought a bunch of tickets, and so did all my family around here, and I sent it out to like
I did
70
too,
people.
so
No,
I couldn't make it like the way
My only thing, and I expressed it to Judith, is Eventbrite, but buying 10 tickets, they charge me the fee 10 times. And I mean, I understand, but it's, I'm with Biden on the junk fees.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
We'll talk next month. Hopefully,
We may call a special meeting next month before the, clearly before the event,
Oh,
Yeah.
well, maybe a regular.
or maybe a regular meeting. Let's
We'll
see.
try.
Thank you, Judith.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're
thank you.
Okay, maybe we'll go to
No,
the Dance Lumiere.
yes, please.
Just ask them, what is this event? It sounds so incredible. What is this?
In a Landscape, it's an outdoor piano concert with headphones. It's Hunter Nowak. He's a pretty famous pianist.
When will that happen?
May 19th.
Okay, fantastic. It sounds like you're very organized. There's a lot of ideas. I'd love to know who your PR
Yeah,
person
he's going to be, well.
Yeah, it's a classical concert. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, before you leave? Yeah, they're right, they do.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Everybody hear this. This is Dance Lumiere.
Oh, thank you.
Based in Sausalito.
Oh, thank you.
I have a card, thanks.
So we're not only in Sausalito, we do work, not Dance Lumiere works in the Bay Area in Sausalito, but also nationally. We've done presentations recently in New York City with the Martha Graham Dance Company. And I produce films, mostly focused on women leaders in the arts. And one of them screened recently at the Lark in Larkspur. And we have a plan here afoot after Arjun came to see beautiful presentation at the Marin Shakespeare new facility to present these films here in Tiburon. And we have new films, so that would be even more exciting. We have films that were recently screened, and we have another new one which features the leading ballerinas at the San Francisco Ballet, Yuan Yuan Tan, who just recently retired, but is going to do major work in China. And also the other dancer is Misa Kuranaga, so she's featured. And these are the films we want to share to promote leadership with women in the arts and in the community and in the world at large, and also leadership for young women. I mean, I was so thrilled at the Lark that a majority of the audience was younger women who study dance and left saying we would like to be choreographers and we'd like to direct companies. So that's the purpose of the films, is arts education and women's empowerment.
Catherine, can I
Yes.
just to take it back for a second? I met Catherine at an art opening upstairs and followed up with her. And I just want to say, you know, how lucky we are to have you in Sausalito and in Marin with such a nationwide reach. You'll see from, maybe we'll screen one or two of these clips, just how amazing. It's a great movie. I saw sections, parts of it at this open recital, and more thrilling for me also was to see the dancers themselves also performing. So if we could just show a short, and then we can talk about,
Thank you.
you know, screening the film.
Which one would you like to watch first?
I don't know what sequence this is. It was a while ago. What do we see?
We've got the trailer and the short.
Let's do both. They're both very short.
Okay, dim the lights. Give me just a moment.
I think that it's changing, and it's definitely like young female becoming more curious and, you know, feeling like they have a bit more of a voice.
We are using what we do to support and further these people who have not been recognized.
I think I've been very lucky and blessed with the opportunities that I've had to choreograph so far. And I would say none of that comes without the women and the people of color who've come before me and paved those ways for me.
Now it seems as if women can actually, they have a voice and we want to hear the voice, and we're not necessarily needing somebody to rescue us. Can you talk about that?
You know, Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, the Me Too movement, you know, we're giving voices to women choreographers has really spurred me on to be that example and show the younger generation of women that you can do this.
So that is the trailer for the film that screened at the Lark. And now I'd like to show you a clip from it going into the Leah Serio interview. Leah, we spoke about this before, and it had to do with your greatest challenges and how you've overcome.
Yeah, I think my greatest challenge throughout my career has been, and growing up, has been a lack of confidence, self-assuredness. And, you know, I've just realized throughout the years of experience in dancing that art is fleeting and it's live, and it's especially ballet. And I've just come to cherish it. And from that, even if I'm not perfect in a show, I find the beautiful essence of the live art. And that's made my confidence even stronger.
And as a woman artist, what have your particular challenges been?
I think a lot of times, because the ballet world is rooted in kind of a elitist and manpower kind of thing, I've struggled with really voicing my opinions and being strong in what I believe in is good for my career. And so I've grown in expressing that to my leaders, to my artistic director, to my rehearsal directors, and I don't shy away from that anymore. And I kind of want to be like, you know, this is what's good for my career, and you're gonna listen to me.
What has helped you to make that shift?
I think it's been the fact that it's a discussion now that with the different social justice aspects of our world now, it's filtered into the ballet world. So, you know, Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, the Me Too movement, we're giving voices to women choreographers has really spurred me on to be that example and show the younger generation of women that you can do this and you can stand up and do what you believe.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. So we are wanting to share this at suggested
Lovely.
at the Lark Theater that we perhaps should screen at the Cine Lounge. So that's part of our proposal, is to present at the Cine Lounge and perhaps combine it with a talk, which is something we specialize in doing with women leaders in the arts, and live interview, as well as showing a film and or a performance. But I'd like to start at first with the screening and see where that goes and share our films with the community. And I think the latest films will be the most intriguing to add into the mix because they are local artists, so from the San Francisco Bay Area. So I wondered if anyone had any questions.
Did you produce this film?
Yes.
Okay. Does the film actually just show clips and the short, not an actual performance of any piece?
Well, it's interviews, it's conversations
Okay.
with women in the arts. So it's a behind the scenes.
Then you have the background. and
Yes,
some of that.
absolutely. The rehearsal process.
And when you were at the Lark, did you actually have an artist or did you have any kind of performance along with it? I would love to see some, but
I wish at the Lark.
I know.
I have a whole website that you can explore that includes my choreography.
So it's pretty much a showing plus conversations.
Yes, absolutely. And we have another program that's happening too, actually, April 7th, which is a Women in the Arts conversation at UC Berkeley. You're all welcome to come to it. It's a suggested donation. Students are free.
The art?
Yes, it's Women Leaders in the Arts on April 7th at UC Berkeley. And it's going to feature Margaret Jenkins, who's a renowned modern dance choreographer in San Francisco for many years, along with the ODC company. Those two companies generated at the same time, with Rodessa Jones of the Medea Project. She's an actress and director. She's also the sister of Bill T. Jones.
Where's this going to be?
It's at Alumni House at UC Berkeley. So I hope everybody will come.
Oh, yeah.
And the third person who's interviewed is Carla Lucero, who is the first Spanish language woman composer for the Los Angeles Opera. She's done 2 operas for them, and she lives locally in the Bay Area. So there'll be an opera composer, a theater director, and a choreographer all in conversation. And they'll also share film clips. Mostly it's a chance for people to hear women's stories, their challenges, how they overcome them, how they see the state of their field, where we are now and where we're going, and a chance to interact with the artists with a question and answer and mixing with the artists. That's primarily what we present. Of course, we present performance work, but this is special. You don't always get to hear the artist's story in depth and talk to them directly.
Yeah, I'll add that, just from that clip, I mean, clearly there are some really wonderful themes and messages that are not, applicable to all walks of life and other things as well. And I love, the line of questions that you gave, and watching the dancers, also the cinematography is great. So I think, I know my women in my family would love to see it, as well as, my son and many of the men that I know. I think it's really important that the women's perspective and leadership gets out there. So that's what really excited me about the film. And, my hope was that since Danse Lumiere is here in Sausalito, that in the future, we might be able to do a live performance of some sort, but that this is an easy lift, being that it's just screening a film and with some very worthwhile messages. And we could certainly draw in students and younger people in the Tiburon community to see it.
Includes the schools.
So in terms of this $1,000, what does that go to?
Well, we have a panel that we would have speak, and so artist fees. And also, I'm not completely, clear on what Cine Lounge is going to need for the screening, but usually filmmakers get paid something for screening their film. And so that's what that is too.
Well, but I guess the only thing that seems to be missing here for me is, do you understand that Cine Lounge is a private enterprise? So we cannot dictate what they will and will not show. I mean, if you're asking for financial support in terms of using public art fund money to, have it screened there, that's what I'm trying to figure out, is because here, I mean, we have this building, obviously, where it could be shown. And there's also the library, but they make their own decisions about what they show and what they don't show. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, is what is it that you want from us?
Well, I think it's a collaboration with the community, and my understanding from Cine Lounge is that they want to collaborate with the community too. And we could look at, is this low cost or no cost for people? I mean, what are we doing and making the facility more available?
Right.
Yeah, and I'll reiterate, Nora, that, the idea was, that at some point we would have a live performance come in, and that this was just sort of a stepping stone. And Catherine, was talking to me about the work that we do here at Heritage and Arts. And we had discussed the possibility of maybe going to Cine Lounge together and talking to them and seeing if they would be willing to screen it at their place for, some arrangement.
I think it's a great idea and it's really important, but I do agree with Nora. We need some clarification as far as what it is. After seeing your clips on my little computer, I did check with Cine Lounge. I Googled it, and they don't have that many seating, and it's fairly expensive. And so I think part of it, what we like is the public, and if we could get more people involved, whether it's at a bigger auditorium or something, not a private enterprise. But good point.
Yeah, I mean, basically, things that come to us come by way of a proposal that sets out some information about what you do and exactly what you're looking for from us in terms of participation. I mean, I think that, of course, the dance is phenomenal. And it's a very important message, and especially to, motivate and inspire young women who might be contemplating the arts or might think, oh, it's not for me because I don't see anybody that looks like me up there.
That's right.
So I think that it is extremely important. But again, I just want clarification as to how we could, and it would be wonderful to have a performance at some point, Yeah.
Or maybe a combination of a screening with a performance and a talk also, so you can make kind of an evening out of it. That might be some idea that we could discuss also.
We have done that format before. I mean, at UC Berkeley, we've had the conversation showing film and then a solo dancer. It does get more expensive to have dancers.
Sure.
We did perform at the Sausalito Center for the Arts, and they gave us a stipend. I was lucky enough to work with the San Francisco Ballet trainees last year, and we did the beginnings of a ballet. I'm the only person licensed in the world to make a ballet of Isabel Allende's The House of the Spirits. And we could certainly always have an excerpt from that, because that's an ongoing project. So that's a possibility.
So
That
just
sounds
one thing
a
to
good
add.
possibility.
There's a lot of different options here. I do want to emphasize that we have a big following for the San Francisco Ballet in this community and for the arts. And I think for all the reasons that Arjun spoke to, this extends our offering even further towards our goals to involve the community and to bring in a younger demographic. I could see family, children,
Beautiful.
We have a lot of kids start in ballet here, at our offerings that we have within the community. So I think it's something that could be fairly easy to launch and exciting, and start small possibly, and then move on to something more elaborate.
I mean, I love that idea. I love the idea of building towards, the performance programs that we are creating and introducing the audience first in this way and saying the performance is coming the next year or next fall or whenever it is, maybe a teaser of a performance, but I think also just the films and conversation can lead into that also.
Right, that would start the conversation, and it's great experience.
That sounds really wonderful.
So maybe then, Catherine, this was sort of like the presentation, of your work, and But maybe we can, you know, continue conversation and build a more sort of substantive, you know, proposal.
Yes,
And you know, let's you know, take it from there.
Yeah, it would be
absolutely.
nice if you think about that.
Mhm.
So you can have ideas how you
Right. Well,
can
I
make
think
a
the initial
proposition.
proposal was to share it here on film and with
That's
conversation,
great.
possibly followed by a performance, but we're flexible. I mean, if it has to be wrapped in the performance, we can do that too. It's just we have to make sure that all the costs are covered if we're bringing more artists in. But I think it's great. And I have heard, and I think when I've checked out Cine Lounge, that they are making an effort to make it available for community-oriented events. That's where that came from, not to make it private and expensive and exclusive at all. So I'd like for us to look at that, but also perhaps look at other options. This facility could work as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, have you reached out to Christian?
Yes, and people
Okay.
who know the films have, but we haven't had a formal meeting. I wanted to meet here first and see
Okay.
what the response was. It would be great to let them know that this meeting took place and say, do you
Okay.
want to do something with or for the community, and what would that look
Yeah,
like?
and the fees might be dropped. I mean, I just looked on the website.
Exactly. They might work with us in some.
I understand they've done that for other community gatherings. That was my goal, not to make it a private exclusive thing, but to make it a community event.
Are you familiar with Presidio Dance Company?
I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah, but now she has her own thing, and what she does, she works with young people, with young dancers. They're young children, and it is a national one. So that might be kind of nice to have a combination of the children's and adult dancers. If you have any kind of ideas, I know the owner of this dance company. So Melania, her name is.
Well, we can certainly look at that as well.
Yeah, let's see what
Yeah.
Catherine can offer us by way of a proposal, and
Yeah.
then we can keep the conversation
Yeah.
going.
Thank you. And my idea was also
And
just to
keep
keep
it-
it as you know, accessible and low cost, because once we start getting into building a whole ballet, it's, you know, that's further down the road. You know? I mean, it's like the light sculptures or her presentation. I wanted to start with something really simple that we already have.
Yes.
That includes
Yeah.
local artists, and then build from there. That's what
And
I want.
That sounds
to do.
great.
And you have a good message for all of us. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
for the
that sounds great.
community. So
Thank
I
you.
think it's nice.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the time, and we'll convene and carry on.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you very much.
Thanks for
Yes,
coming,
we'll keep
Catherine.
in touch.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
Come on April 7th if you can to UC Berkeley. The on the website is another one that's in Palo Alto. It's further away at the end of April with different artists. What time? The one at UC Berkeley is April 7th at 2 at Alumni House. It's the first posting on my website if you go on the card. And the one in Palo Alto is on April 28th with different artists.
So out of curiosity, the performance at Alumni House, what sort of venue is that?
It's the building.
Yeah,
But I mean, like how many,
large, beautiful room.
how many,
We don't necessarily perform. We're having a conversation and we're having.
Right. But how many people do you expect?
It really varies. Last time we did it in September, we were very full. April is a little more competitive month.
Okay.
So at this point, I couldn't say, because a lot of people show up at the door for that.
But then how many did you have at the last one?
The capacity of that room is 100.
Okay.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah, if you go outside.
It's like, yeah, there's a patio and
We were mainly in the room.
yeah, it's more than 100. I'm pretty sure they've a luncheon there with round tables of tens, many.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is giving a lot of thoughts to you and to us.
Exciting.
That would be really exciting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we can go to number 2. in our agenda. And that is Marin Open Studios. They are going to bring their own on a Friday. I forget the timing, I think. Do you remember? She sent it to us.
They're going to drop off equipment Friday, May 3rd.
That is a Friday.
8:30.
That's a Friday. Yeah.
8:30 a.m. And it looks like they'll be doing setup all day.
Possibly, but we have to be there for the closing just in case.
Maybe we
the
should
office is closed.
let Lee read the background of the staff report just so that we're all same page.
The background of the staff report. Okay.
Can you
Would you like to do that?
Sure. So I'll just introduce, as you all probably know, Marin Open Studios is coming to do an exhibition here May 4th and 5th. And the commission last year, you approved 8 artists to show your work, to show their work here in the building that weekend. Marin Open Studios is an outside organization. They provide all of their own equipment. They provide all of their own outreach and do all the organization with the artists. So this item is really just to give the commission a chance to talk about any other logistical things that might come up. The chair has received some information from them, and you're welcome to speak to this, Jolly, too. Just some scheduling of when they're going to come and drop off their equipment. The actual exhibition is Saturday and Sunday. Doors open at 9 a.m. and it closes at 6 p.m.
6
I believe.
p.m.
Yep. And they provide all their own equipment. They do all their own setup. So it's really just a question of access to the building.
Yes, they have panels for each artist. There's going to be 11 artists right here in this room. There will be panels all set up. And I'm part of the Open Studios, but since I have been talking to them and so on, I'm going to have some work in the lobby, and that I will be the only person. But they will have 3 people on and off taking care of things if anybody needs something and so on. And if any of the artists needs a table, then they have to bring their own.
Just a question.
Yes.
This is only for the Marin Open Studios members, people who have paid into it. My question was because having done the by 94920 at the library, the exhibit, there were some artists that asked why they didn't know about it. And they would like to have shown some art here, but I didn't know what the parameters are. And maybe the next year we could do that, notify.
I have an answer for that. Marin Open Studios, it is supposed to be open up your own studio. But having Tiburon has quite a few artists, but they never really profited from that because they all went to ICB building with 3 floors of studios. And then by the time I always suffered. So for two weekends, maybe I had only 25 to 30 visitors. And that is the reason. So they thought that maybe if we have it in a central place that people can come and go quite easily. Yeah. So all these artists, they are member. We have paid $200 and something for this season. It is a seasonal, And then on top of that, we are going to, each artist will be writing a $40 check to go to Marin Open Studios because they will have some extra stuff here if anybody wants to use it. Yes.
Yeah. In terms of what we're supposed to do here, it's to consider appointing an ad hoc to work with Marin Open Studios. What exactly do you need?
Well, it looks like the only thing we really need is locking and unlocking the door. But if I'm here, maybe I can do it because I'm part of it. So I will be here until everybody leaves. Then I make sure the doors are locked, because on Friday, Leah said that they will be working here. Staff will be working in the morning. There's no need to. But in the evening, we really need to make sure that the
So
doors are locked.
maybe if you are able to do it, we might not need an ad hoc because there are a lot of things
No.
going on in May.
Yes.
Yeah, the ad hoc is really just to give you the flexibility. If there's more that you want to be involved, you certainly can, but as as far as I'm seeing it, the real only issue that you should
Is the
discuss
lock.
tonight is access to the building.
Yeah.
And who's going to be around.
So if she could do it
Yeah.
and you could call on any of us in case, or
Yeah, maybe
including
that
if
is
Lee
what I
thinks
should
we
do.
need,
Yeah, if
you
I
know, if
need
Lee
any
thinks
help.
more help is needed,
Okay.
we're all available.
And on Monday, they're coming to dismantle, and then it will be open.
Right.
But I have to be here making sure that everything is all cleaned out and nothing is broken or anything like that. You never know. But
So the fourth and the fifth are the weekend.
Right. Yes,
Saturday,
it's
Sunday.
it.
They're coming on
Saturday.
Friday to set up.
They
Fourth and
come.
fifth, they have
Yes.
to show, and then Monday
Yeah.
they dismantle.
Saturday and Sunday it will only be the artists. The artists are coming 9 in the morning. I told no 9 in the morning to set up their.
I think it'll be a good showcase. I know we'll be on the map.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then they have really large signs. The signing is very important. So the signs will be outside the door, so anybody passing by, they can stop by and come and take a look.
So point of clarification then,
Yes.
this report says that the exhibition is from 11 to 6, but they will actually be coming at 9
Yes, the artists have got to set up their work.
every day that they exhibit.
No, they can come, leave it until the next morning.
Well,
they'll
that's what I'm
come.
asking, because it says
Yes.
weekend exhibition on May 4th and 5th from 11 to 6.
That's when the public.
That is,
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to figure out is the public will be here from 11 to 6, but you will be here earlier to open the door for the artist at 9.
yeah, if I'm
That's-
not, yeah.
That's what I'm
if-
trying to figure out.
Yes, when it is not, when the offices are closed, then I
On
will
Saturday
come
and
on
Sunday.
Saturday, as on Sunday, especially Sunday night, I think everybody will take their work with them.
On Sunday night.
Sunday night after the closing, so they just fill up their cars and they.
Yeah, I just want to make sure someone's here to let them in and open the building
Yeah.
at 9 o'clock. on.
Since I'm part of it, I'm prepared to do it, but if I do need help, I will reach out to.
And just one more clarification. It says 8 artists here, but I think you said 11.
I
Right?
think I was told 11.
Okay.
Is that the one that she sent?
It says 11.
It's probably 11.
It is 11. This must be the old one that you have. That is the old one. The
Okay.
new one, I sent it to Leah and then she put it in,
That's fine.
that I got it last night.
The 8 came from the last time you all, I just went back and looked at your last discussion on this, so it's probably 11.
Yeah, each artist will have the schedule sent to them, emailed already to them, so they would know exactly the timing.
Excellent.
So that is, I don't think we need an ad hoc if necessary.
Oh, there's the budget. Yeah, that's next. Well, you need a good budget.
Okay. Now, we have to review the general operation budget to consider. Would you like to read it out just a little bit?
I
please?
don't have a formal report, but we are approaching the end of the fiscal year, and you have a copy in front of you of your 3 funds. So we're not really talking about the special fund or the public art fund tonight. You have a fairly itemized copy of your general fund. So this is what we're talking about tonight. And I've got it highlighted on there for you. You've got about $3,700 left this fiscal year. So you don't need to make any decisions tonight, but it might be something to start thinking about if there's any other expenditures you'd like to do before the end of the fiscal year.
So just a question then, is that the money that if we don't use it?
Correct.
By the end of the fiscal year?
Use it or lose it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
I like the commission to consider something that Judith has mentioned to me was offering some refreshments to the crew at the landscape concert when they're setting up, which could be just water, drinks, that's brought there. You could ask her, but that would be my anticipated some expenses on that. Something for the people setting up, but she didn't ask. I'm just offering.
Well, I guess my question is, as a threshold, if she's looking for money, right, to offset part of the expenses, why wouldn't we just use that?
Talking about Catherine.
Judith.
Oh, with Judith, I think she's looking for fund. It's donation. There's some kind of a partnership that in the landscape wants to do, not just money given. They want us to connect with other organizations or other donors or other foundations. So we could offer that.
Well, I mean, to me, that's the most obvious thing to do instead of getting snacks is to make, if the money that she's seeking is to make available this neighborhood good neighbor program, then why wouldn't we just give them?
You have to ask her. I think it's something that's in the landscape. They would like to partner with people who are in need or, give them the experience. And also they want to partner with other nonprofit organizations, because for all we care, we could have given the whole $6,000, but they wanted it with some donations, as I understand it. So, but I agree with you. I'm happy to make our funds make it easier for this experience.
I just wanted to clarify. Did she do you remember her saying that the money for that she was considering for TPF grant was going towards the Good Neighbor program specifically? Because I don't remember.
No, I think it's for the 6,000.
It's for the upfront.
Upfront sponsorship.
She's mentioned that she's seeking about $4,700.
$4,200.
Because some of it has already been paid, right? Upfront?
It was a 6,000, as I understand.
I see.
6,000 down payment. In order to bring them in, we paid them 1,800. So we have the 4,200 that we're hoping to get sponsorship.
She should have something to
the sponsorship. But along with it, the landscape group would like us to kind of go out in the community and get them involved, which includes donations,
and did we already?
And then they offer discounts and things.
Did we fund all any kind of banners or publicity?
Nothing has been done yet, because apparently they provide all of the marketing PR stuff and but that's a good question. I don't know if they do a banner
at some point with some banners, but that's only a few $100s.
The banners are already their times have been reserved for the banner for that particular project in a landscape.
Right.
But what we need is copy.
An actual banner.
Yeah,
and
banner.
The copy for the banner.
For the banner, the image, the
image.
And that has to come from landscape people.
Exactly.
From what
so we
I
would need a
understand.
high resolution.
Should be free.
So do we need money to produce the banners?
Yeah.
Yes, we have to pay for it. Yes.
We entertain a motion to allocate funds towards.
My understanding is it's already in the budget.
Yes.
That when Patty went over the budget with us before, That's already in there, and Dave Gotts normally does it for us.
Yes.
For free. So that's not a cost that we need.
We
to
just
And
set
if
the
I
don't
if
think
I-
it's for free.
If I may, the banners related to the inner landscape, that's coming from the Public Art Fund regardless. So it's really not coming out of your operating fund either way.
Mhm, mhm. Okay.
But the banners for the artists that they are going to come,
Correct.
the next artists.
Yep, so the operating
Comes
fund will pay for the artist exhibition
Yes.
banners, but anything public art related, the public art projects, anything related to that comes out of the public art fund anyway.
Right.
Okay.
And that is not, that's not use it or lose it money.
Right.
So that's not something that's of.
But we could use the operating budget for the refreshments and
Yeah, I
the
think
little
that's
side
reasonable.
things.
I think that's
Okay.
reasonable.
One question I had, do we have enough wine for the two?
a
For
lot of-
the
there's still a
two
lot of wine.
reception? I think we still have plenty.
Who knows about the wine?
Okay. The only thing I know is that last year when we were in this same position, we stocked up on wine, water, and paper goods. So if we need,
Let's stock up again.
I think that would be.
Yeah.
We are still good, yes. are
Do we
still
want
good.
to make a motion to allocate a certain amount of this to stock up? Any
Last
thoughts
year
on
was
that?
at least
I don't think
700
it is
last year.
necessary,
I thought.
is it?
think she should have what she needs.
700?
700 is good?
Last year was about $700.
I move that we allocate $700 towards provisioning for upcoming Heritage and Arts.
I
receptions,
second.
et cetera. Okay. Second.
Vote.
All in favor?
Oh, do we need any public comments? Good.
The comments?
Yes.
Public comment? Seeing none. Seeing none.
Okay.
All in
So-
favor?
Aye.
Passes. Thank you.
That
What-
leaves 3,000.
One other, it's a small thing, but I had spoken to Patty about this and it's been done in the past. I think that as ambassadors for Heritage and Arts, we should definitely be able to hand our card out when we're seeking donations, public awareness, publicizing the site. So I think we should need to maybe just approve the funds for that.
Business cards, coming off the top of my head. It won't be too much, a couple $100.
Remember one.
Not to ex-
No,
Should we do a not to exceed?
not to exceed $500 is probably good.
Yeah, that give a lot
Okay.
of cushion.
That's
So
fine.
I move that we allocate $500 of the operating fund towards ordering
New business. cards.
new business cards for the commissioners to promote Heritage and Arts Commission.
Second.
My second. Go ahead. So that leaves 2,500.
We're getting good.
Did we get a vote on that one? All in favor of business
Aye.
cards?
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you.
Wait,
25.
So 1,500 remaining. Yeah.
You do have at least
2
one
months.
other banner coming.
Yeah.
So you can take about 50, 60 off of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I would remind you as well is that you only had 3 receptions this year, which coming out of COVID, normally you have a little bit more. So a little bit of an extra amount of money this year would not be that unusual.
Yeah, what about doing the reception for Richard Rosen and also to thank
Well,
him as a
Richard
thank you gift?
Rosen, all we need is wine because he has to provide.
Well, I was just thinking it's a good time to just thank him and then we don't have to be sort of like owing him
Well, let's
some
we are
recognition.
going to talk about that in the next.
Okay,
In
Great,
the
then we'll
agenda.
be
It
able
is
to
on the
spend it.
agenda.
okay.
Yeah. Because the next discussion group is
600, we provide the food and all.
artist laureate.
Yeah, okay,
So
thank you.
receive updates from the ad hocs.
Yeah, that's us.
Okay,
Okay, so.
all right.
That item. So Arjun and I met and.
Could you please talk?
Oh, sorry. Arjun and I met and we discussed the forms. We were, besides the fact that they need to be updated in terms of, removing names and dates and all of that, that we felt that we did not think that it was appropriate or necessary to give potential artists a questionnaire to fill out. That we thought that, it would be better to simply give them the questions as questions that could be potentially asked of them, but not to make them fill it out like they're taking some kind of a test.
That, having served on it, it was for potential interview topics that were the questions. And the application is just sort of like the way we apply for the commission post, just kind of give a little background. But the potential interview topics or question was meant for that. It's fine to update, but that's the purpose on those.
If you look at the form itself, the Town of Tiburon Artist Laureate application.
Yeah,
it says at item number 3, please submit with application form written response to discussion topics for interview screening process.
Yes, that needs to be updated.
So we just thought that really wasn't, we wanted to get rid of that. Yeah.
So what do you say that,
so you can send it along with it to say, these are possible questions that you might be, that you might want to prepare to answer if they're asked of you.
okay.
You could ask for it sort of an artist statement or what their vision is for the Pacific.
Our feeling is that these are professional people and we need to treat them accordingly, and not, make it look like anything other than that. So that was one of the big ones. And the other one was in terms of item number 3 on the Artist Laureate selection criteria. The laureate must have a critically acclaimed body of work which is informed or colored by living in the Bay Area. Again, I think that to me, I think it's totally unnecessary. And I think Arjun and I agreed that we don't need to have that in there. Basically all we need for them to understand is what their roles and responsibilities will be as an artist laureate, that there are some responsibilities that they will have in terms of thinking of what they want to do as artist laureates. That's the most important thing that we need. And the other question is in terms of a visual artist. Up until now, it's all been paintings, right? Work that you can hang. But I think myself, and I think Arjun would agree, that we need to include more than just that, so that we don't limit it to just a visual artist in terms of, it could be performance art, it could something else, sure. but just broaden it. And so other than that, and I'm perfectly willing to make any changes to these forms, but if there are any comments that people want to make, I think this is the time to do that.
I'll just add that for number 3, the idea that, your work is informed by or colored by them. The problem with that statement is it's just too vague. It's just, it doesn't get to any kind of specific material.
Well, in my opinion is for an artist laureate, they have to be an artist. That is important to know how much work they have in their background. So that has got to be put someplace there.
Their resume, they're submitting their resume.
The resume, and then as you mentioned, then the person will be informed about what kind of questions they're facing when they are doing the interview. So they prepare themselves. They have to have an idea of what they want to do for 4 years.
But that's what I said.
Yeah, how to do it.
Right, but that again is something
Yes.
that they can discuss in their interview, and they will know from the questions that are sent to them for review that that is something that they will be asked. So they will be prepared to answer that. And whether if they are dancers, they might have videos that they want to submit. If they're photographers, they might have a portfolio. I mean, we just want to see what they have. But we just want to make these forms more, I think, cognizant of the fact that these are professional people that are established in their field.
If I remember correctly, I did have to bring a portfolio.
Yeah, they
I
did.
did offer my portfolio.
Yeah. You have to
And
see
of course I said,
only
well, I
about
would
3
like to do this and
laureates.
this.
So
Then they agreed.
So I guess the only
and
thing I would just ask if there are any suggestions or any comments or any other changes.
I think those are good updates because things have changed in the past. It's just, you know, people bringing in a folder, although we only have had 3 laureates. But I think this is moving with time. We could certainly take, I don't know, you're just going to say should be an artist or no, if you're dropping number 1, if you're dropping visual, because if we're using other.
Doesn't matter.
Then we could put it.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when the past artist laureate, Richard Rosen, came, Richard Rosen had a portfolio of artwork, but his idea wasn't to teach art or talk about art. His idea was to bring public art. And that was the reason that he really was accepted. I was one of them that I said, that's fantastic.
That's what interests.
And that is like, in a way, it has to be a visual artist, but with a vision. They have to have a vision of what they want to bring to the community.
Well, I think the questions that they will have to give a statement, probably with their portfolio. And when you ask the questions, you know, I think we ask about the vision or whatever program they see themselves doing. And that's what intrigued us about public art. We thought and yeah, I think, but
sure, but
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think to speak to this issue of whether it's a visual artist or just artist, you know, we are also part of the public art program has in a landscape. That's you know, that's a performance, that's a performance piece. So I think just to keep it simple as you're an artist and you have vision or an idea for the community, which will be asked of you at the interview. What are some of the things that you see yourself doing? And maybe it doesn't have to be as grand as a public art program as Richard Rosen's incredible stroke of genius idea was, but it could be something more, you know, should I say humble, like workshops, you know, or something like that, or to bring artists to perform and play music or whatever, because we don't know what kinds of, at this level, what kinds of networks some of these artists have that they could also.
You have to ask for their vision. See,
yes,
that is their vision.
So I think that that's okay
to bring to community.
So they, and besides the 250, anticipate when they have a project, do they anticipate?
Yeah.
Could we have for the next time written?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. For the next meeting,
For the
I
next
will
meeting,
put all the changes and we will
that
meet.
would be very good.
I think from this update, thank you. I think it shows that we're growing.
Did you talk about how to go about it, and is it putting it in the arc you're looking for? An artist laureate and all that?
I think we're putting the cart before the horse here. We need to get the forms, and then in terms of how we put things out, we've got all the same, you know, methods that we're using for everything else, and hopefully we can add on.
I think this is a good time to just kind of do the forms first and go out, because we kind of dropped off at the last one for particular reasons, whether it's COVID or lack of staff time. But now it's good to start anew, and we'll plan on how to, publicize it and get maybe more applicants.
Right. So yeah, and so if people with that in mind could think about how they want this to be disseminated for the next meeting, you'll have it in hard copy at the next meeting.
Very good.
I think you should have,
Thank you, Nora, for working on this, and I look forward to meeting with you and finalizing it
Thank you.
at Rustic Bakery.
Yes,
Likewise.
please. Thank you. So number 2 is the Public Arts Selection Panel. So the ad hoc can.
For my point, well, Nora and I met in person, and we met by emails with Trish, who gave a lot of good ideas. And I think we need a little more time. We all agree that it needs to be restructured, whether it's by name, by composition, but with all these things going on, I myself would like a little more time.
I concur.
You had 2 months, don't forget. Almost 2 months to do this.
Got it, boss.
We really have to make a decision on that.
Okay.
Yeah, we will. I think we can. It's just that we couldn't get together.
I think one of the things I can say from our meeting is the fact that one of the things that has been difficult in terms of the structure of the PASP and how it relates to our responsibilities as commissioners is the Brown Act. And that has provided a lot of impediments to us working together with different members.
Yeah. If I may, I just want to let the ad hoc know, I'm happy to meet with you as well, and we can kind of dig into some of that too.
Great. Wonderful.
That would help. If that would be helpful.
That would be very helpful. Thank you.
Suggestion, we may want to have a quick refresher too on the Brown Act as the platform for how we're making this recommendation for it.
It is important.
Yeah, thank you.
Because we have too much to do ourselves as a commission. We really need that extra help that they do. They can find and introduce some artists and bring it to us so we can see what we are looking for.
Yeah, but again, we have to be able to work together to maximize everybody's time, everybody's talent, and
well, of
money.
Course.
I think that's a real good point. We want to maximize the community's resources and talent. And very grateful that Lee would be there to help us.
You see, right now, Scott, you came with this show. He didn't come through this group.
Right, exactly.
But things do happen, but they are good to bring different venues to us. To look at it and make a decision what is the best for our community.
So like I said, we're going to meet with Lee and, discuss the issues that have provided obstacles to us working together as best as we possibly can to maximize.
I just like to say that Trish mentioned a very good point at the last meeting. We'd like to have some kind of process that's equitable and, work with ease.
But I'll add that vis-a-vis Bruce Monroe, we did put him in touch with Scott Yu with Richard right away, right from the beginning.
I think he worked. He talked to Scott and showed him the way how this presentation should be. That's why we have a nice presentation from him. Oh. So we really need them. They need to help us, and we need them to bring new forms of art to us.
We look forward to the next iteration of
please.
PASP, or
if you can do it in a written form, if you can do it in a kind of a written form, that would be really good. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll have Lee put on a spreadsheet. Thank you.
Okay. Then now, for the calendar dates, I really would like to keep the regular calendar. It might be a short meeting instead of trying to make, you know, a special
Impromptu.
Yeah, that might be kind of hard. Can we do it
So that would make your next
the
meeting
regular timing?
April 23rd.
Yeah, that is my birthday. So I'm prepared
That's
to
a
be
good
here.
reason for a meeting.
Unless I go to, unless I go to
Maybe
Paris.
we need
last
to
year. I
revisit
went-
we might have to have this meeting at a restaurant then. Maybe we need to revisit the operating budget.
Yeah, the operating budget,
Okay.
yes.
But just.
I'm not going to tell you how old I'll be.
Yeah, I mean.
No way.
The only thing I would say is this, that because we are really imposing on Lee to be here every week, if we do that, I think that under the circumstances, I find that the special meeting works fine if we just structure the work that we have to do. I don't think it's necessary for us to meet every.
Well,
You know, she works.
I think if we keep it the same day of the week.
I think for
every
the
month.
public theoretically, we're
Yeah,
supposed to
it's
keep a day.
easier to do it that way. It's just coming here if we don't have too much to talk about. It finishes in half an hour. So
How
this
does
time
Lee?
was important because of Lee being new and everything. Now she's such a bright young lady.
Lee can do this
She
in her sleep.
amazes me.
That's not the point.
And I call her 100
I
times.
think the question is, do the ad hocs have material that we will need to be
No.
looking at that point in time to call for a real meeting or not? And then realistically, that said, with the work of the ad hocs, is there a realistic expectation that before the May meeting, will anything be done in terms of, you know, PASP or the artist laureate?
Or the event.
Or the
Because we have
event.
our May 19th.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, I
really
think
part
we
for
should
the
keep
event.
at it.
As far as the ad hoc, you know, documents and all of that, I can't promise. But I
Right.
think we need to make sure the event
Yeah.
is run.
I'm okay with meeting for the event, but I think, you know, with all respect, Jale, I think we need to give this new calendar at least a bit of a chance. You know, I understand that we have a thing here, but I think
It is too long, too long. Look, we have to hear from Judith for next time, probably. And we
no, but
have
Judith is
we are
sending
going to have
material.
receptions, and I want to know who's going to help out and all that.
What receptions?
The artist reception downstairs and upstairs on May. So there are little things that we need to.
Are we
do it
skipping the
probably.
28th?
Is it proper, Lee, to ask how
To do it
your
Go back
schedule
to-
works with
back
all
to
these
every month. Is
meetings?
that okay?
I can see both sides.
I see both
Um,
sides, but you know, regular meetings, I guess we were told that you want to keep it as regular. But I'm very, I want to be considerate of Lee's schedule and see how it goes. I am also concerned about the event to make sure that we have understanding.
Yeah, I think Lee wants to be heard.
I think the intention with the schedule was to try out a new model, as the vice chair said. Of course, understand that you do have an event coming up, a pretty significant event. I think it does make sense to meet before that. So it's really the will of the commission. You are established on a monthly meeting basis.
Yeah.
But you did want to try out a new model, which was meeting in a little bit more of ad hocs and delegating and coming back every other month. So it's the will of the commission. It sounds to me like April 28th will probably only be to discuss in a landscape. So if that is.
And well, the two The two receptions are coming up after that as well. We
So
want to
there's-
know who's doing what.
So the May reception's for Richard.
Yeah.
And if we get this proposal back.
Yeah, if we have any proposals on this one, I think having 2 months with no meetings, it's just makes me, oh, okay, now I don't have to do this. I have time, sort of
It
thing.
seems to me we could just meet in May to get everything squared away for.
Well, why can't we do it?
Well,
Say.
April 23rd is.
let's just put
May,
it on,
you
let's
know,
just
with
meet
one
April
half
23rd.
dozen the other, you know, I mean, it's end of April, early May, either way,
Right,
so.
exactly.
I think
Yeah.
let's just,
Do it.
I'm happy to, instead of calling it a special meeting, let's just.
Yeah, let's just hold on the
Special
regular
meeting,
meeting.
we
But
do it regular.
But I will say
We probably don't need them.
that I'm not sure that, I don't feel that this means there's a full change to the new schedule. And I say that partly also because, you know, we've set out plans for a lot of this, you know, this year's projects already. We know who's on the calendar. We know what's happening. You know, I think I realized that there was a lot to do at the beginning of the year, but you know, now we have a plan. And you know, I'm not sure, especially in the summer, given, I mean, you know, we also all have our own schedules, and I understand that some of us are busy. You know, I'm happy to meet in April, and I'm happy to meet in May. But I think you know, we need to also consider the 2 months as a possible model to.
We had never
continue.
done the 2 months up till now.
Yeah,
We never had done it. This was the first time we did it.
right.
That's why we're doing it.
And it worked.
Right.
You think so?
Sure. I mean,
Sort of.
we have all this stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Judith has been meeting with the ad hocs.
You
know,
think
all the ad hocs have
Judith
been meeting.
won't have anything to say to us in 1 month?
No, but we don't have to come up with any content ourselves. In a landscape will
Oh,
give us the marketing material, and
No,
then we just put it out there. We don't have a say in what they actually do.
Well, I put a lot of time and I'm always there, so it doesn't matter. You guys decide then.
Well,
You don't
um,
want to listen
I
to
think-
me.
I think given the event, I'm more prone toward having a April with the 2 receptions, whether we could do this by, you know, ad hoc or send the info to Lee to distribute. I think maybe I'm a little nervous about the landscape and would like to, but it could be short, but in the summer, we could try the 2 months if we have nothing,
Thank you.
you know, the next one.
So we're back to April.
And just so I'm,
always do an outstanding job.
Oh,
And we know that. We all do it. Thanks so much.
so it sounds like our meeting calendar is our regular meeting date in April and our regular meeting date in May.
That does not make sense to me.
I'm not sure we need the May.
Let's just stick to April 23rd.
Yeah,
So April for now, and we'll have an agenda item on that agenda.
yeah, we may skip May
Well,
instead.
but, excuse me, I thought Jolly said it's her birthday. She doesn't want to be here on her birthday, right?
She said she will be
Oh,
here.
you will be here on, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I just want to be
Yeah,
clear.
I'm not going to Paris this year, unfortunately.
I would go meet in Paris, by the way.
Yeah.
Try to meet in Paris.
I'll take you for a drink afterwards. How's that?
So our next meeting, just to be clear, is Tuesday, April 23rd at 5:30 here.
At 5:30 here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Are we going to adjourn?
Yes, I think adjournment.
Thank you.
So much.